Maut was the mother goddess of Thebes, Waset, in the fourth nome of Upper Egypt. The ancient Egyptians considered the vulture to be a protecting and nurturing mother, and so their word for mother was also the word for a vulture. Maut was either depicted as a woman, sometimes with wings, or a vulture, usually wearing the crowns of royalty. She was often shown wearing the double crown of Egypt or the vulture headdress of the New Kingdom queens. Occasionally, she was depicted as a male, in part because she was Maut, who giveth birth, but was herself not born of any, and in part due to the superstitious belief that there were in fact no male griffin vultures. The male is almost identical in appearance to the female. In later times, Maut was depicted as a woman with the head of a lioness, a cow, or a cobra, as she took on the attributes of the other Egyptian goddesses. Maut replaced Amun's earlier wife, Amenuet, the invisible goddess, during the Middle Kingdom. Maut was believed to have existed since primeval times, existing alongside Nun, the primeval waters, possibly because she replaced Amonet, who was one of the ancient gods of the Ogdod, the Great Eight, who lived in the waters. She was initially worshipped as a local deity, but rose to prominence as the queen of the gods when her husband, Amun, became the foremost national god during the New Kingdom. Thebes became the capital of Egypt, and the Theban gods became the national gods. As a result, Maut was also closely associated with the queen, the mother of the nation. She was particularly popular with the queens of the 18th and 19th dynasties, most notably the pharaoh Hatshepsut and Nefertari Merit Mut, Nefertari, beloved of Maut, the chief wife of Ramesses II. When her husband Amun merged with the sun god Ra, as Amun-Ra, Maut inherited the title the Eye of Ra, a title also associated with Sekhmet, Hathor, Tefnut, Bast, and Wadjet, among others. The Eye of Ra was the daughter of Ra in the form of a lion who embodied the fierce heat of the sun. However, Maut was also mother of the sun in whom he rises, making her both the mother and daughter of the sun god. Originally Montu, the Theban god of war, was considered to be their son, but he was replaced by Khonsu, the moon god. The Theban triad of Amun, Maut, and Khonsu were worshipped at the temple of Amun at Luxor, Ipet Risi. Although her worship centered around Thebes, she was also worshipped in Janat, Tanis, Zau, Se, the oases of Kergea, and Dakla. Maut was also closely associated with a number of other goddesses such as Isis and Nut, and was worshipped as a member of a number of composite deities. With Isis and Nekbet she formed the deity called Maut Isis Nekbet, the Great Mother and Lady. She was a winged goddess with leonine feet, an erect penis and 3 heads, the head of a lioness wearing Min's double-plumed headdress, the head of a woman wearing the double crown of Egypt, and the head of a vulture wearing the red crown of Lower Egypt. With Bast and Sekhmet she was Sekhmet Bast Ra, another 3-headed deity, the head of a lion with a plumed headdress, a woman wearing the double crown, and a vulture wearing the double-plumed headdress. In this form she is described in the Book of the Dead, protecting the dead from being disturbed. She was also worshipped as Maut Wadjet Bast, Maut Temt, and Maut Sekhmet Bast Menet. During the New Kingdom, one of the most popular holidays was the Festival of Maut in Thebes. A statue of the goddess was placed on a bark and sailed around the Isharu, the small crescent moon-shaped sacred lake at her temple at Karnak. There was also a celebration during the New Year festival when the statue of Amun traveled from his temple at Luxor down to Karnak to visit her. Originally, this was for the fertility goddess Opet, possibly an aspect of Taweret, as a way of ensuring fertility for the coming year. The temple, the estate of Maut, was situated to the south of the great temple of Amun-Ra, with an avenue of sphinxes approaching it. She was worshipped there as Maut, the great lady of Isharu, the lady of heaven, the queen of the gods. Strangely, there are few representations of her in her vulture form in this temple. However, there are numerous depictions of her as Sekhmet, the Eye of Ra, a number of which seem to have been transported from Amenhotep III's funerary temple on the West Bank. It is thought that the temple was initially established by Hatshepsut and Thutmose III, and then expanded by Seti I, Ramses II, Ramses III, and King Tarka 25th dynasty.